Let's get some prize picks in today, guys. Last night, one slip went 3-1, which was this one right here with Nemo and Marte. Zubac did end up going under his 10.5 rebounds, like I said, was the correct play in last night's video. And then Obi Toppin cleared this in the first quarter on the over 7.5 points. So very close on this one. Marte could not get that second hit. The first inning, Nemo and Marte both got on base with hits, but Lindor could not run them in. So Marte finished with this one hit, and Nemo ended up getting another one later in the game. So that went 3-1. The second slip went 1-3. So Randy ended up getting walked, I believe, twice last night. And then Nasreed and Jaden McDaniels went the opposite of what I was going for, right? So Nasreed ended up going over his points. Jaden McDaniels ended up going under. So no profits last night, but you only need to hit 1 in 10 of these slips to actually break even. That's 2 slips right there. We're down 2 units. Even if we were to lose another 7 but only hit 1, we'd be break even. Obviously, you want to be hitting more than that, so we're profitable. But let's get onto the board for today. I'm going to be making another 2 of these. And tonight's slip's going to be better than any of the slips I gave last night, because there's an absolute gem of a prop here in soccer. I know no one really cares about soccer, but this is going to be on someone that everybody knows here, Lionel Messi, on his under 2.5 shots on target. I have no idea why this line is set at 2.5 on Prizepicks. The other sportsbooks have this heavily juiced at 2.5, or they have it set at 1.5. I'll show you on a couple of books here. So you'll see right here on Bet365, Messi's 1.5 shots on target is set at -150. So his 1.5 is favorable towards the over, but his 2.5 shots on target, because a whole extra shot on target is quite significant, is at +225. So you want to be all over and under in this situation. We're basically getting like -300 on his under. And if we go to DraftKings, you're going to see the exact same thing. Player to have 3 or more shots on target, which is equivalent to over 2.5, is set at +200. Now you have 2 sportsbooks telling you that the 2.5 is way too high and you want to be on the under. If you go and check with Prizepicks direct competitor Underdog, he is set at 1.5 shots on target, and the juice is actually towards the under 1.5. So they're giving you a higher payout on his under 1.5 shots on target. We're getting him all the way at 2.5. This is equivalent to basically getting like 3 points on a player like Caleb Martin, who kind of has that 9.5 point total. Imagine you're getting him at like 6.5. That's basically equivalent to what you're getting here for Messi's 2.5 shots on target. It should be set at 1.5, maybe 2 at most, but you can see even on the OddsJuice dashboard, we did flag this as a 75% chance to go under 2.5 shots on target. Now guys, 75% chance still means 25% chance that it goes over. But we definitely want to be on this plate because it's way more likely to go under than it is to go over. And he is expected to start tonight. On the OddsJuice dashboard, we have this star next to him to kind of indicate that he's in that expected lineup. So Messi under 2.5 shots on target. I'm absolutely loving this prop. Way too high on Prizepicks. Want to be all over that under. Messi in soccer is the first pick. The next pick is going to be in the NBA. We're going with Hackwas on his under 4.5 rebounds. He has not cleared this so far in the series. He got closest in the first game here when he got 4 rebounds. But honestly, I was looking at the juice on this player as well as just his recent game logs. On OddsJuice, we have this flagged at -131 fair odds, indicating around a 57% chance that he goes under his 4.5 rebounds. And again, if we go to Bet365, for example, you can see that Hackwas is set with heavy juice towards his under 4.5 rebounds, -140. So this is a prop I could see getting bumped down to 4, but while it's at 4.5, you want to be all over it. Also, if you go and check his game logs, like I said, he did not hit it last game. He did not hit it the first game. And just in general, he has never hit it versus Boston. Obviously, now we're going to count this game where he only got 14 points. But his game here on February 11th, he still clocked in 29 minutes while starting and only dropped 3 rebounds. Then in the season, if you check pre-All-Star break, where he was still averaging like 30 minutes a game, he was only averaging 3.9 rebounds per game. So I'm liking this under 4.5 rebound spot. So there's a lot of things pointing towards Hackwas under 4.5 rebounds being a great play. Now to end it off, we're going to do what I did last night in the MLB. It did not work out last night, but let's see if it does tonight. We're going to the Atlanta Braves and we're grabbing Olsen on his over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. And we're going to be pairing him with Ozuna's 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. If we go in the expected batting order tonight, you can see Olsen at that 4th batting position with Ozuna right behind him at the 5th. And like I said yesterday, Olsen could easily get a hit. Ozuna could follow him with a hit. And then maybe they both get ran in by one of the next players. So the MLB want players that are close to each other in the batting lineup. And it only helps that the Braves are a great team. They're top 4 in hits. They're also top 3 in runs and in RBIs. So that's stuff you want to see when you're grabbing 2 players on their over hits, runs, RBIs. And I'm taking these 2 specific players. If you go ahead and check the juice on DraftKings, Ozuna is at -125 towards the over, and Olsen is at -130 towards the over, and they're both in the expected lineup. So that is great to see. This is going to be the first slip for a 10xer. While we're here in the MLB, we'll build up the second slip with 2 players here. The first one is going to be Fernando on his over 1.5 hits, 1 RBIs. And we're going to pair this over with Xander on his hits, runs, RBI 2. These guys are positioned at 1 and 2 in the batting order. And despite the fact that the Padres have a negative record, they are still one of the teams that scores the most runs, kind of has the highest total games. If you go and check total runs this season, you see the Padres here still at 4th, as well as in hits. They are one of the top teams at second place, and in RBIs they are up there in fourth, but at bats they are number one with 975 at bats this season. Of course, the more at bats, the more opportunities for both these guys to get their hits, runs, RBI. I'm going to go over to soccer once again to get one more prop that's not as good as Messi, but I'll show you the value on him right here. It's going to be Liel Abad. His under 1.5 shots is juiced to minus 230 fair, meaning about a 70% chance. Soccer is that sport where you could really find these hidden gems, and you can see he has that star here indicating that he's in the expected lineup. So ideally he is not going to be a DNP. So we'll etch him into the lineup here, and then we'll go over to the NBA to get our last prop. It's going to be Jamal Murray on his over 23.5 points. He has not hit this in the whole series: 22 points, 20 points, and 22. But if you look into it a bit deeper, for Jamal Murray's stats, he has actually not been shooting the greatest here. So you can see 21 field goals attempted. He only hit 8, 9 out of 24 here, 9 out of 24. And his 3 points made, 1 out of 6, 0 for 5, and then 4 for 9. This is a pretty good game from the 3-point perspective, but not from the 2-pointers. So on average, he has about a 50% field goal percentage. We can see that right here. Post All-Star break, he's averaging about 50.6%. And just in general, he's averaging about 47% field goal percentage. On the past 3 games this series, he's been shooting at a 38% rate from the field. But you can see he is capable of shooting better than that. In the regular season games versus the Lakers, he shot 11 of 23, 12 of 25, and 8 of 13. So it's not that he's not capable of shooting it. He's just been a bit off on his field goal percentage. Yet he still got 22 points, 20, and 22. In 2 of these games, he was 1 bucket off hitting the over 23.5. And the game that he shot 0 for 5 from 3, he was only 2 buckets off. So assuming he has a decent shooting night, he should be clearing this prop quite easily. And I think Denver will be closing out the series tonight. I even got the money on them. 100 on Denver Nuggets to win tonight at minus 156. On top of that, Jamal Murray is juiced towards that over at minus 126 fair. So about 56% chance that he goes over this prop. I'm going all in on the Nuggets tonight. So let's get this as our last pick and lock this 4-man in.